yeah.
So we have 1, 2, 3 this week. 4. We have 4 classes, and then the class and the final. Final will be in class. I won't give it to you to do take home exam, but I'll grade you guys midterm this weekend. Or if you don't want to know how well you did it, I can wait till and grade it with the final.
Are you gonna get rid of that one question? 30?
Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah. That a cash flow statement, right? Yeah, we did it in a hurry, and let's see.
I just wasn't sure about the change sign thing.
Yeah.
I did what the instructions said, but not.
We haven't started yet. We're just checking about movies. I was planning to go to watch a movie, but I don't know which one to watch. I want or either comedy or drama. I don't like the John Wick kind of movie. Huh? I've never seen I know the story, the one before this. This is a new version but of the old story, right?
Yeah, it's like a live action, so it has real people in it.
Oh yeah, just like you guys all like the animal, and I don't like that kind of movie. You know what I mean? Where's the animal? That one?
Secret Life of Pets?
No, it's
I think
I like that one.
Is it? I don't know. Forget it. Where's the? No. Harry Potter is related to Harry Potter. Where's the? Where's?
But do you read them? You don't watch?
I don't read them. Yeah, the movie. I don't like that one.
The Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, the Fantastic Beasts.
The second one?
The second one, I don't like it.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
Yeah, you don't like that? It's alright.
No, because it's I'm way beyond that generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Did you like the actual Harry Potter movies?
No. No. I just saw the first one and I don't like it that much. I know you guys are so much into this kind of movie, but I mean, I like Green Book kind of movie, and also the year before, the Manchester was something. I like this kind of like drama and sad and human talks about the human. Real story, like the Moonlight, the movie a couple of years ago, and the Manchester something. I like this kind of movie. We belong to maybe, yeah, I belong to your parents' generation, so it's just totally different. Yeah. So we're recording now. Be careful what we say. Anyhow, so we will. Tristan is not coming. I don't know. He's busy at work. Yeah. Anyhow, so we'll do chapter 8, stock valuation. Yeah. So last time we did the bond pricing, and we say bond is a lot safer because a lot of things are known. Like for stock, and we know the informations, the capitals provided by stockholders are actually here. The company will keep the money and then keep it in the record. So investors' money will go to their accounting book. It will be will be kept under equity. So for stocks, it's total equity under here, and then for bond, we know it's under the long-term debt. I see stockholder provided more capital to, this is a Walmart, to the firm than the debt holders. And we also know stock is a lot riskier. It's a lot more riskier than bond, and this is a fact. And why is that? So company will raise more capital from the stockholders, and stocks are considered to be riskier. Doesn't make any sense, right? It's riskier, and the company would rather just raise more capital from stockholders. And stockholders know it's risky, and they know like it's a large pool of capitals from millions of investors, but they still do so. So what do they want? So this is a way to make a fortune. Right? If you want to gamble and you have some money, you really want to gamble and you want to make a fortune, this is a way to do that. If you lend the money to Walmart, you can't make a fortune. Because if you invested in Apple 30 years ago, and then a dollar will be, I don't know how many times, maybe $1,000. Where's $1,000? And from 30 years ago. So if you want to make a fortune, which is a way to do that, you find a company with very high potentials, right? And buy their stocks. And what will happen if you buy their stocks? You become partial owners of the company, right? You will share all the profits of the company, right? So this is better than just lend the money to the company and get some interest back. And you can make a fortune. You can grow. You can grow with the company. Yeah. So the huge problem now is we want to grow with the firm. We want to make a big fortune. But however, how much does the company worth? Because if you don't feel the company is doing as expected, what you can do, you can walk with your foot, right? You can just sell your stock to other people. Yeah. So you want to just terminate this. You want to pull your money out of the company. Yeah. So the thing is, well, how much does the company worth? If you know Apple is worth, now it's around $200. Now, if you think Apple is worth only $100, then you want to sell or you want to short Apple. If you think Apple is going to be like $400 in the future, you want to buy Apple now, right? So the thing is, how much is Apple intrinsic value or true value is? How can we estimate it? How can we find it? For example, if you have a business, like you're looking for a partnership, you come to me and you say, well, I have a good business plan and we can work together on this. How can you persuade me to provide capital for your firm? How much money you can make every year, right? Year by year. And you say, well, how much is my sales will be growing? My profit will be growing how much? You draw a very, very attractive, interesting strategies and pictures to persuade your partners to invest. The same thing, right? The company will tell you a lot of good news about the company, right? And then what's the thing you want to know from the company? Your profit is how much, right, in the previous years. And from that, you can make some predictions about the future's profit will be how much, right? And then based on that, and you can figure out, since remember the income statement, we can figure out if the company make $100 and they yearly pay 50% to shareholders. We can figure out how much, if I invest in the company, how much dividend I can get paid, right? So you can use this dividend you're expected to receive from the company, and you can, if you know how much dividend you can get, it's just like how much just like the bond pricing, how much coupon or interest you can get. Interest is just similar to dividend here. So then you can figure out how much the company's stock should worth, right? Just discount the dividend at certain rate. You think, for example, your company, you're small, and I'll discount your dividend at 10%. And then so you tell me how much profit you can make, and then it will be split between you and me, so I can figure out how much I can get back every year, discounted at 10%. For example, the business will run for 10 years. And then so that's the value of your firm, right? It's the same thing for companies. So we have to make assumptions. the company do pay dividend, right? And do pay dividend. Also the company, since we'll just assume the company will run forever. And then so we can discount the dividend and figure out how much you're willing to pay, right? So you see, this you can find the dividend history. Like what I put here is stock.walmart.com. I got it from here. So can you see any patterns of Walmart dividend? So now we just got the idea to figure out how much Walmart worth. So we should use the dividend, the future dividend, discounted to figure out the firm value. So, but do firm really pay dividend? Can we find a pattern of the dividend? Like this is Walmart. Any patterns you recognize? It increased by 4 cents a year, right? Increased by 4 cents a year. So you see 2015, 49 cents, 16, 50 cents per quarter. Usually the firm will pay dividend 4 times a year on a quarterly basis. And if I ask you how much is the dividend for this year and next year, it will be how much? 53 cents every quarter this year, 54 cents a year from now, 55 cents 2 years from now. And we assume assume Walmart will last forever. So can we figure out the dividend? We can, right? And then based on the dividend, can we get the stock price? So we can do this, right? So we want to know how much Walmart stock price. So to get it, we want to know, okay, so when is, for example, this is the end of 2019. So we want to know by the end of 2019, is how much. So what we can do, we just want to know if you are the stockholder by the end of 2019, so you want to know how much the stock should be worth. So you look at the future dividend. You're the stockholder, and you be getting dividend in 2020, and then so you use. You can do this way. For example, I can 21. And on and down, so I won't on and down. For example, now because we know the pattern, so we know the dividend will be 53, because 53 is every quarter's dividend, so it's 4 times, right? So 54.
Would it from 2019 be 53 cents?
Oh, okay, really?
I'm not sure though.
Okay, I thought this. Oh yeah. So it's 4. So we're because I want to start with a new whole year. So let's start from the end of 2019. So the stock and let's use 8% as the discount rate. Let's use 8% as a discount rate. And dividend, let's just assume it will be receiving this kind of a dividend and forever. So how much the stock price should be worth? If you're the stockholder, you can live forever. So you'll be receiving dividend every year, 54 cents times 4 for the next year. And then, so you just discount it at,
Discount this year.
okay,
This year you got.
yeah. You guys, what is it?
This is like Middle Eastern cookie.
Yeah.
It's peanut butter.
So you made it?
Yeah, because we have a holiday today, so
It's and this is a Ramadan today.
Yeah.
we finished Ramadan.
Oh.
So this is for after Ramadan.
So what is it?
It's like Eid holiday. So Eid.
So you can drink and eat now.
Yeah.
Poor thing, and they can eat and drink during the day for the whole month. That's why. But today it's
It's peanut butter and
yeah,
flour.
it's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no problem. That's all you have.
So this is what. no, this is
I
what.
thought it's a banquet. It's a feast, right?
Yeah, this is one of the cookies. Our, yeah.
So all you need to do is just discount. And so what you can do is okay. So that's it. Cause you know the dividend. You guys want more? No.
I'm good right now. Okay, thanks.
Don't worry, we can finish it before the class is over. All right, so the price. So what we can do is we can discount the. It makes sense, right? This is right? Because you're a shareholder, all you receive is just dividend. Assume like you will never sell your stock. Yeah, Alex, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And how do you get 10%?
Oh, 10% is, remember we did chapter 6. Remember, we can use CAPM model. Let's use 3% as risk-free rate and use 8% as market return. Beta of Walmart is 0.5 and plug in. And it's higher. Oh, okay, yeah. So I should put 8% here. So since we're using 8%. For example, let's say. Yeah, let's see. If we do this way, 3% for risk-free rate and 13% for risk for the market return based on CAPM, then Walmart discount rate or Walmart return, it's the same thing, means the same, equals to 3% plus 0.5. This is one way. So the discount rate is based on how risky the stock is. So if we use CAPM model, we think the beta, you can find it online. And then market return, you can just use S&P 500 return as market return. And then, so it makes sense, right? This makes sense. So you know your stockholder, whatever, how much the stock worth, depending on how much dividend you can receive. So since we know how much Walmart will pay, so we can figure out how much is the stock price of Walmart. So But the calculation, most firms, well, the calculation here, some firms don't have this clear pattern for dividend. So we have to make the calculation simple. So we make assumption. If we assume this is still difficult, dividend increase by like 4 cents a year, and then it's still difficult to calculate it. There's no nice equation to do that. But if we assume dividend will grow at the rate of G every year, then we can come up with a simple model called dividend growth model. Now, let's simplify the whole process. Now, let's assume like not only Walmart but other companies as well, their dividend will be growing at a certain rate. The rate is called G. G could be 1%, 2%. It's just a number. If we do so, and then we can come up with a dividend growth model, then the stock price will be written this way. P0 stands for current time, present time, equals to D1 dividend. D1 stands for dividend of the next year. 1 stands for a year after. Over R minus G. R is, this is R. This is R. We can use Kaplan model to get the R, and to get it, you see, so we can simplify this calculation. And there is an equation for G also. G is dividend growth rate. So we can, some companies, some people will use this ROE is return to equity. But in this class, G will be given. But however, you can use this equation to calculate G. Use ROE, return to stockholder, multiplied by 1 minus payout ratio. Payout ratio is the percentage of profits paid to shareholders. So 1 minus payout ratio is just retention rate. What is the percentage the company kept the profit within the firm for the future growth? Yeah.
What is D1 again?
D1 is dividend of a year from today.
Okay.
If it's D0, and that means it's a current dividend.
Okay.
D1 is dividend a year from today. If it's D2 means it's a dividend 2 years from today. And then so you see now, if we assume dividend will be growing at a certain rate, and to calculate the rate, you can use that equation ROE minus 1 minus multiply by 1 minus payout ratio. So you got G, and you use Kaplan model to get the discount rate, and then since current dividend is known, so we can just assume dividend will be growing at the rate of G every year. So if the current dividend is all public information, so if it's D0 is known, this is current dividend. Then since it's growing at the rate of G, so this will be D1. So this is the equation. This is called dividend growth model. Also in the website, you can find how to demonstrate this equation. Have you seen it on the right side of the website? You see, so I put it just for information. It's on Wikipedia, so you see details about how to derive the model mathematically, dividend growth model. So here it is. So if you want to know how to derive it mathematically, so you see, this is what we have done. We just assume dividend is how much, but we assume dividend will be growing at a certain rate of G, so we can calculate the dividend year by year and discount it at a certain rate, and then to get the stock price. and then and then multiply by 1 over g, 1 plus g over 1 plus r on both sides, and then subtract the second equation from the first one. So you got this one, and then you can derive the dividend growth model. It's also called Gordon's growth model. Here, this is the website. Yeah, so dividend, after we assume dividend will be growing at a certain rate of g, then and since become easy because you see dividend will be known. Dividend will be increasing by the rate of g every year. So it's just like you put your money into the bank. If bank give you 10% return, so you know it's 10% higher every year. So we assume dividend growth rate. So dividend will be known to us. Since we know dividend, and we can use CAPM model to get the discount rate, so we can get the stock price. This is a general idea. So it makes sense, right? So you can use the dividend to get the stock prices, to get the discount rate, data and CAPM to do that. So this is the model. This is the model. If we know D1, you use the first equation. If we know D0, we use the second equation. But it's the same. D1 is D0 multiplied by 1 plus G. To get the stock return, it's derived from this dividend growth model. So this is the equation for R, return. So D1 is this equation. D2 will be increasing at the rate of G, so it goes on and on this way. And there's a calculator. You can see the calculator. So if D1 is given, you use D1, put it here, GR, and then you can calculate it if it's asking you for dividend. So you give the values to the other three variables and click on D dividend. It will tell you how much is it. But anyhow, the equation is just based on that. So we need to know three of these factors. We need to know how much is dividend, growth rate, R, and then so we can get price. Or if we know other three, the combination of the three factors, we can figure out the last one. Also, I put down here, there are some definitions. This is a definition of dividend yield. It just returns from your dividends how much. You use D1 over T0 to get a dividend. And there's another term called capital gain yield. You can use stock price. Anyhow, well, let's don't go that far. Do you have any questions? Okay. Now let's do some calculations. It's not that difficult. Let's do number 6 and number 7. It's quite easy, right? Dividend growth model. Huh?
Is there a way to do it in
There's no command. You just have to use the equation. There's no command. Do that. You just use the equation and plug into the equation. Yeah.
So it's easier to use the calculator?
Calculator is very easy. Yeah. Or use the equation and mathematically work it out manually. It's fine. You see, so this number 6. So the company just paid $1 dividend. So the company just paid $1 of dividend. At the end of last year, this will be D0. This is D0. And dividend growth rate is 10%. This is G. Required rate of return is 17%. This is R. So it's asking for price. Yeah, it's over here under stock. Okay. Okay, so I couldn't, I should add it back. Oh yeah, dividend growth model. Dividend growth model here. So it's D0, so you should put D0 here. And it's 1, 10, 17, and compute for P0. How much you got?
1571.
Is that right? And then, yeah, and to do that, yeah. Alex?
How do you know if it's the current year dividend or the future one?
Well, because this question said the company just paid $1 at the end of last year, so this is D0. So if it's you see then if it doesn't say anything, we just assume this is D1, but this is clearly, so mathematically, the equation is this, so we're using D0, R minus G. So D0 is 1, but don't use D1 here. Equation has to be D0's equation.
So like for number 7, it would be like a D1 because it doesn't specify.
Yeah, but it should, if it says like this company will pay dividend or is the company is expected to pay something. So, but if the company just paid, so it's D0. So for question number 7, we should use this equation. Oh no, it should be D1. So it should be 3 over 90. Oh, so no, I was wrong. Now you have to work out this problem. 90. Now can you do this? Can you do this? Work out this.